presentation is on Mailuu Suu, Kyrgyzstan. I'm Mehak Paul, and this is my submission for fall 2021 at NYU. Our objective is to understand the story of Mailuu Suu, a secret uranium mining town in the Soviet Union. In 1933, uranium was first discovered, and 20 years down the road, since then, 10,000 tons of uranium oxide have been extracted. Presently, residual radioactive waste poses a major environmental threat, as well as the number of landslides that occur in the densely populated area of Fergana Valley, home to 14 million people. Table of contents. First, we go over the history of Mailuu Suu and then understand the nuclear tailings in Mailuu Suu. Then go over the risks of landslides and the history of recent landslides that have taken place. One of the most terrible disasters that have occurred is the 1958 dam failure in Mailuu Suu. And then we go over the radiological waste and what health impacts are caused by that to the population living there, and then end this presentation with the efforts to clean up this region. History of Mailuu Suu. Current population is only 25,892 in 2021. This mining company, Zapadnia Mining and Chemical Combine, mined more than 10,000 short tons of uranium for the Soviet Union between 1946 and 1968. It was one of the secret cities and it was officially known by Mailbox 200. There were 36 radioactive tailings scattered throughout the region. However, 26 of these waste dumps are within the city limits of Mailuu Suu. This was where the uranium for the first Soviet atomic weapon was made. As you can see from this figure, Mailuu Suu has the greatest density of the nuclear tailings and radioactive waste in this entire region of the Fergana Valley between Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. Nuclear tailings in Mailuu Suu. This figure outlines the uranium ores that are present within this region, as well as how closely located they are to the city of Mailuu Suu and the river that flows through it, Mailuu Suu River. It also locates a few of the tailings and the radioactive waste contaminations. High risk of landslides. This region is particularly prone to landslide hazards, and during the last 50 years has experienced severe landslide disasters. As you can see from this richer scale, most of the landslides have been between the scale of 4 and 7. This is a list of the most recent landslides that have taken place in this area in Kyrgyzstan starting from 1994 to 2017. Nuclear tailings dam failure, 1958. On April 16, 1958, heavy rainfall and an earthquake caused the number 7 tailings dam at Mailuu Suu to fail. Because of this, 50% of the entire volume of the dam flowed into the Mailuu Suu River and then downhill from that. The waste then spread about 40 kilometers downstream, impacting the heavily populated Fergana Valley. There were some fatalities building destruction, but mostly the long-term effects of this disaster are still being studied because the residents have suffered from higher rates of cancer, goiter, anemia, and other illnesses related to radiological exposure. Health impacts of radiological waste. High concentrations of radon in the air have been causing cancer. In the past, from 2006 to 2015, 197 people have died because of cancer. And looking at how little this population is, only about 26,000 people, about 200 people dying is quite a big deal. The contaminated water sources have led to higher rates of cancer, typhoid fever, and congenital anomalies, as you can see here. Excessive typhoid fever cases. Now, typhoid fever, as we all know, is mostly a disease of the monsoon and is present in tropical areas. However, in this region, in December 2013, 100 people were infected, and in 2014, the scientists tested the water found the bacteria that causes typhoid very much alive in the month of December, leading to the conclusion that radioactive substances were warming the river water, and that's why the bacteria was still alive in the winter. An effect of radiation and radionucleotides have reflected on higher rates of birth anomalies, miscarriages, stillbirth rate, and overall it's 1.25% higher than anywhere else in the country. As you can see from this graph, between 2000 and 2016, the congenital malformations have gone up and down in parts of Kyrgyzstan. From this graph, you can see that in Jalabad province, the three zones are divided in this region, and zone 2, which includes Mailuu Suu, has the highest number of cases and deaths due to cancer. In 2006, Mailuu Suu was declared one of the world's 10 most populated places according to Blacksmith Institute. Different sources of pollution. Air, as we've seen, is the maximum source of pollutant because it has radon, and water, the second largest source of pollution is water, as the river Mailuu Suu, because of the river Mailuu Suu. Efforts to clean up. Now, the European Bank has signed agreements with the Kyrgyzstan Republic and Tajikistan to clean up the uranium mines. Most of the mines were closed by 1995, but nobody has gone and remediated these mining sites or tailings. Therefore, tailings, low-grade ore, and waste rocks are still deposited in this area. And currently, there are 23 tailings and 13 mine waste dumps over approximately 44 hectares. Now, the World Bank contributed 11.76 million into the disaster hazard mitigation project in Mailuu Suu between 2004 and 2012. With the help of the World Bank, the Kyrgyz government is working to contain the riskiest of the sites. The cleanup project has also built a disaster management and response system to monitor natural hazards, detect them, and raise warnings early. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.